It's July first week, and now you're the grand knight of your council. And congratulations, and all your council officers. We're looking for great things this year, and your council is going to succeed far beyond your wildest expectations this year. So one of the first things that we wanted to talk about in the first week of July was how to access the Supreme website, your personal portal into Supreme, where all the information that you need and far more to run your council. It's going to be where you have your catalogs, you order supplies. It's the place where you go to do your safe environment program. It's the place you go to for publications, journals, everything's there. So we want to get you onto that website as soon as possible. And so what I've done is done a little screen capture showing the way I go in to the Supreme website. I do it almost daily, which you should also, maybe not daily, but at least once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, go in and check to see how you're doing and if there's anything coming up that you need to know about. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and dive into how to enter the Supreme website. So first thing you want to do is log into the Knights of Columbus website. And then from there, you're going to log into your actual page that only you can access. So we're going to go ahead and do that now under my unique identifier. So first we bring up our web browser, and then we're going to type in kofc.org. Obviously, the abbreviation stands for Knights of Columbus. Go ahead and hit return. This page pops up, and then what you want to find is that little blue box right there where it says sign in. Hit the box, left click on your mouse. This will come up then. This is your sign in. Your first time you're going to sign in, your username will probably be your membership number, and your password again probably the membership number. Once you're in the system, then you can then change your username and your password, which is highly recommended because everybody knows how you initially log into your home page. So mine's already in. I then type in sign in. Highly recommend you hit that box to remember me. And this is the page that comes up. Now, this is for the state secretary, and depending upon your position in Knights Columbus, different things are available to you. For a Grand Knight, you'll have everything that's available for your council. The financial secretary only has a few items that he can pick up for the council. And then there's nobody else in the council that should have access to this web page. The district deputy also has access to his own web page, and he has district level items that he can do, and also some council things that he can do. Us at the state level, from the state warden all the way up to the state deputy, we all have access also. So the first thing you're going to see in here is the and which is up on right now is the 2021 Star Council announcement, which is the requirements. You're going to want to hit this right off. This is I would do by here, and this is giving you the qualifications are needed for all the various awards. So you have the 3 awards that's required that you have to get in order to even qualify for the Star Council, which is the Columbian Award. The Columbian Award is, of course, based upon how many meeting your quota. I mean, the programs, how many quota as far as programs, 4 programs in each of the 4 categories, a total of 16. Now, this year they're loosening the requirement down even more so, which are will receive 2 credits for the special programs that you can do. And this down below in the faith category, it lists the RSVP program, the Holy Hour, the Spiritual Reflection, and Into the Breach programs. You can click all of those, and it'll tell you exactly what those programs are. The next category is family, which is, again, it has the primary programs that they like for you to do that gets 2 credits. Food for Families, Family of the Month, Family Prayer Night, Family Fully Alive. And again, you can click those. They're all hot linked. Then you have the community programs, which is for Coats for Kids, Habitat, a Global Wheelchair Mission, and Leave No Neighbor Behind. This is a new program here, just started last year. So again, you can click those and it tells you exactly what you got to do. And then the 4th category is Life, March for Life, Special Olympics, ultrasound, and pregnancy center support. So as you can see, all this is available. You know exactly what you got to do. Now, it also tells you the required programs you have to do. The required programs aspect of the Columbian Award has been removed for this fraternal year. There are no required programs that must be conducted for council to be eligible for the Columbian Award, and that's because of what's going on with the virus. They know the councils are having a hard time getting certain programs going, and so they're making accommodations for that. So that's great that they're doing this. Again, if you go up here to the top, must be received by Supreme Council Office by 30 June. This is that SP7 form that I've been talking about in the previous videos. Fill it out now so you know what programs you got coming up. And then once you complete those programs, you can go ahead and submit the form. You don't have to wait till June 30th to do that. That can be submitted in March, April, May, whenever you have all the different programs, the 4 programs in each, or 3 programs in each if you do the main programs here in each of the 4 categories. The next award is what's called the Father McGivney Award. The Father McGivney Award is the council membership growth, as you can see right there. To win this award, the council must meet or exceed its yearly membership quota. This year, 2021, they have reduced that from 7.5% to 5%. Okay, so if you have a council of 100 people, instead of having to bring in 8, you're going to bring in 5. So that's a big change right there. So be very, very aware of that. So if you don't already know what that number is, that your quota is, this is the easy way to calculate. It's telling you it's 5%. The minimum is 3 and the maximum 20. What that means, if you have a council of only 30 people and you multiply it times 5%, that's 1.5. 2 people. They require 3. Okay, so again, that's a reduction from previous years. Usually it's 4 is the minimum, and it has a maximum of 20. So what does that mean? If you got a council of 500 people and you go 5%, that's 25, but it's telling you only have to bring in 20. So the larger your council gets, the fewer people in actuality that you have to recruit, percentage-wise. So that's another reason for why we shouldn't really, suspend people just because they don't pay their dues. We need more than just not paying your dues. But that's a big reason right there. You do max out at 20. Councils that attain star status and receive 200% of their net gain will receive a double star. So in other words, if you have, again, that 100 council members, and you 5 is 5%, gets you 5. Well, if you get to 10, that's a double star. If you get to 15, that's triple. You get to 20, that's 4-star. So it's an easy math, and this is where that comes from, how many stars the Star Council gets. Again, this has to be completed by June 30th. Has to be submitted. So as soon as a person becomes a member of your council, it's updated into the Supreme Council. They know, and we get a daily report. We know all the numbers throughout the year. You do also. The Founders Award, this is your insurance. In previous years, this was a multiplier times your membership numbers on your roster. And this year they're changing that. They're only requiring that your council must host, it says, 2 approved fraternal benefit seminars in conjunction with the field agent. So now, that doesn't mean you have to have it at your parish or anything, but it can be done online. A lot of past several months, the fraternal benefit nights have been done online. No one's actually done it in their parishes in the past couple of months. So this allows the field agent to have a pool of names that he can then talk to afterwards about whatever the topic was during the fraternal benefit night. And they could be talking about long-term care, life insurance, term insurance, different type of financial packages that the Knights of Columbus provides. So that's what these discussions are, and all members should go, whether they have insurance now or not, because you're going to need insurance, different types of insurance throughout your life, and so these guys can provide it for you. And so this is a big benefit to all councils, and especially those out in the rural areas. The district with Chuck, where we have in the middle of the state, Ely, and those places that are hard for the insurance people to get up to, like Mesquite. So they, by doing a fraternal benefits night, the insurance agents can talk to you and a larger group coming in to listen to him. So so it's fewer trips out to the middle of the state, you might say, but at least they can have all this in one night, and then they can actually do the insurance from there. Another area in the state is up in the northeast, up in Elko and Winnemucca, and those areas up there. Again, it's the same situation. That it allows the insurance agents to come in, and there's a bigger pool of people that they're talking to. So this is a big benefit, and we should have even more awards this year. We did really good this year. We had over 20-something awards in each one of these categories, and that's incredibly good. It's over 50% of the state councils winning these 3 awards. And so now, and then of those, some of the councils, over 10 to 13 councils had all 3 of those, plus doing everything else they were supposed to do. And I gave them the Star Council Award. Just take a look at what the qualifications are for Star Council. You must earn the Father McGivney Founders and Columbian Award. That's these 3 awards below. Additionally, the council must submit both the annual survey, which is 1728, and the service program, which is 365. And then, on top of that, in the United States, councils must also fully compliant with the applicable safe environment requirements. And in this year, what they're requiring is all 4 positions to be filled, and that all 4 have gone through the safe environment by listening to the video for 1 hour. So, and I think one individual in there gets a background check also. So this is very important and very easy to do. But the main thing is concentrate on these 3 awards and do your safe environment, and then you've got the Star Council. And what's also unique on the Star Council plaque and all the other plaques, if you look here a little closer, it tells how many stars you got. It tells your percentage of goal. In this case, this council got 154% of goal. It gives the council number, but also look who's here. That's the Grand Knight's name. So when this plaque goes up on the wall, all 4 of these plaques, your name's on that wall for then on, as long as that plaque's up there. And that was changed about 2 or 3 years ago that they started doing that. And previously to this, it was only the council name. So it's part of your legacy to have your name on the plaque there. So that's really cool to have. So that's one of the hot points that we wanted to talk about today. So let's go ahead and go back to where we were on that page. This is again back to your assigning officers online page. You can actually go in here and get the exemplification of charity, unity, and fraternity. It gives you all the supporting documents in there. Utilize the following resources, and it gives you the presentation video, so you know how it's supposed to be done and how you should be dressed. Communication to the Knights of Columbus leaders. It gives a script for the exemplification, so you actually have what you need to read and it also answers the questions. So it has an FAQ for answering any kind of questions that most of the councils who have asked questions are on here, and so more than likely, if you have a question, you can find the answer here. So this is really great. You come right in here and you got everything you need in order to put on a fraternity unity charity degree, exemplification. Remember, this script can be read now. You don't have to memorize the script. You can read the script. So every council should be able to put on a charity, unity, fraternity exemplification every month if you need be. So there's no excuse for not being able to do this. And your team is only need about 4 or 5 people to do this. So this is really, really easy. If there's anything that you need, far as other gear and stuff, you have the night gear here. There's a direct hot link that takes you over there, and you can get anything you need. Medals, if you need the sash that goes across for the degree teams, you can get it from there. You can get crucifixes. You can get pictures of the Supreme Knight. Remember, it's changing this year who it is. Carl Anderson's last year is this year, and anything else that you may need just by hitting that one hot link. So you can see how important this page is to you already. Coming on down, if you notice, I can see everything in the state of Nevada. I can also see what's going on in each of the districts, and I can see also what's going on in each of the councils. So I have a lot of information, but that's not what's important here. Is from the council level, you'll have a very similar page, but you'll see it as a Grand Knight in here. These options down below, you'll have the same hot buttons here. This is the officer's desk reference. Last year, I met a Grand Knight that was in January, and he hadn't come into this page yet, and he has never practiced or read about what he was supposed to do as an officer, or what his officers in his council was supposed to do. So that's 6 months of the fraternal year already gone, and he didn't know exactly his job. This is where you go to get that information. So sometimes before, you might want to try and find us or find the district deputy, just by pulling into this one place here, it gives you all the information that you could possibly ever want. All the answers to most all questions are here. The officer's desk reference. So it gives you everything. Any kind of question that you may have, it's in here. So that's an important part of that page. The next hot link that you'll see on there is the officer's Office of Youth Protection. This is where you're going to be going in for your training, your safe environment here program. Now you can easily go in here. The other 3 people that you picked to be the other part of that team that has to do safe environment, they don't have access to this, but they can come in through the website homepage, and it'll take them into there, and we'll talk about that later, how to get through there. But this is where you find the safe environment for you. It has all the different questions that you may have. It's all set up here, and then as you complete, like here you can see the Grand Knight, the different parts here he has to take, talking points for prospective members, Grand Knight program talking points for new members. You can see the amateur's login instructions. All these different things are all here for you to review. So this is another area that you need to go look at as soon as you get access to this page. The next item on here is the home corporations. There's only one council in the state of Nevada that deals with this, and that's the 2828 with Markish Hall. So this is a bigger issue on the East Coast, the older jurisdictions and councils. That part of the Knights of Columbus, they had their own halls separate from the parish. But in Nevada, all of our councils, except for one, are on the parish grounds, so we don't really deal with that too much. Knight's Gear, that's the store that I was talking about. Neat thing about Knights gear, you can also get 4th degree items here. So if you're looking for the 4th degree regalia, this is where you buy that at. This is the supplies online. It's the next button. Supplies is for your council. Their financial secretary would be involved with this also. Usually the Grand Knights pass it on to the financial secretaries to go ahead and purchase the items, and then you get an invoice, a monthly invoice that the council pays. But this is where you order all the items that you need for the council that you may need. So that's another great place to look in and see what you can get that you probably didn't even know was available to you. Next, you'll see down below is the actual reports. This starts your reports. This is for the whole state, but in your council, you'll have a quota here. Now, remember, they reduced it down to 5%. So for your members, that quota will be right there. So if you have 100 people in your council, you'll have 5 right there. This is your gain. It's month to date in this group here, these 3. So you have your gain, how many people have come in this month, how many losses have you had. This includes suspensions and withdrawals. So hopefully you don't have anybody withdrawing, and hopefully you keep your suspensions as minimum as possible. And this is the important number here is your net. As long as your net's positive, that means you're growing. Not including how many people pass away, how many men pass away, but at least you're growing prior to taking into account the death totals in your council. So if this number turns negative, you're not growing, okay? So it's very important. This is for the whole year, but of course July is just starting, so these 2 columns kind of match for now. You have your gain for the year so far is 2 for the state of Nevada. We've lost no one so far this year, and of course that gain minus losses gives you the net, which is 2. This percentage point here is they take this number 2, and divide it by your quota, and then that gives you your percent growth. This is how we rank everybody based upon their percentages. If this number turns negative, they just don't put nothing there, because they don't really want to show negative percentages. So, but that will be as long as it's positive, you'll have a percentage number in there. Your insurance is the same way. There is no quota this year, but they still want to keep track of that. And we do want to see positive growth in your insurance. Remember, the Knights of Columbus was founded on insurance for the Catholic Irish in New Haven, Connecticut. So that's why even today, we still, it's one of our major benefits of being a member of the Knights of Columbus is the insurance program. And so every member should have insurance. And the next section here is the, in this case, it's jurisdiction. This is for more on the state level. As you can see, we have 5,930 people in the state of Nevada. This is the number we're trying to get to, say, 6,000 something. Year to date, we've already down by 1. That's because we had a death already this year. And one of our members here in Las Vegas, Brother Knight, Horace Dubay, has passed away, and that's why that's already started off -1. So our it's the way it's tracked. So we want this number to get over 6,000 and not fall back below 6,000. And of course, once we hit 6,000, the next goal will be 7,000. And the reason for the 7,000 goal will be because we get an extra paid delegate to go to Supreme Convention. So that's going to be really important in the years to come. You'll also see 3 tabs up here. You have your reports. If we're looking at it from a council point of view, let me see if I can do it from a council. Let's pick a council, 1340 out of Ely. And I think it gives me the, yeah. So you'll have your rosters. You'll have more information than this under your program too. So you'll have many forms under there. So the main one, of course, as a Grand Knight you're going to use is your membership roster. You can either have it as a PDF or as an Excel file. depending on how you want to use it. You'll have your financial statements. The financial statements are basically if you're in good standings with the order. That means you've been paying your bills, and when the invoices are coming in, whether you're paying. But also notice right here is the Safe Environment member status. And that's going to be on yours also. And that'll tell you whether the people that you've assigned to the 3 other positions, if they have already started the process, if they've already started, or if they've already completed the watching the videos and everything. If they're not, then you got to talk to them, because this is very, very important. If you don't have this all 4 completed in the safe environment, the 4 positions, you can't get STAR. And it's sad when you do all that work. The council did all that work and all that requirements of forms, submitting them in, doing all the programs and doing what's required, and then just because one guy didn't finish safe environment, and you're not going to get your STAR council. So that's on you. You got to keep watching. If this guy after 3 months doesn't do it, I would say get rid of him. Just get him off that position and put someone else in the position that will do it. Because when we get to June 30th, that you don't want that to be a reason for not getting STAR. Let's see next. Here we got forms. Yours, of course, will be all the forms as far as for your council, your semi-annual audits that you got to do. For the council is done twice a year, which is July, which is this month, and January. So every 6 months you have to do an audit. And we talked about that last week, and this is where you get that form. So just in case your financial secretary can't find it, you can find it. You have your soccer challenge kits available in here. All the different forms you need, they're here. So this is where you get it. Publications. This includes the Supreme publications, communication to the Knights of Columbus leaders, district deputy reminders, frequently asked questions that may come up, Nightline, which is really important. That's the newsletter. Leadership handbooks is for all the different positions in your council. You want to get a copy of those. Script for the exemplification, which you can also get on the front page. And working with your pastor, how to remember he doesn't do what we want him to do. We do what he wants us to do. So always we're in the support of our pastor. So these are all the publications that you hear me talking about. This is some of the places that you can load it. Okay, so this is an important page. And remember when I said when you log in, you have to, first time you're going to be using your membership number. Well, once you are logged in, you want to go here to change your password. Okay, and you'll be able to change your username and your password. In fact, I think that's what you do when you first time you enter into it. You enter a username that you want to use. Let's say like you're some guy named Joe Hahn. You could probably put down Joe_Hahn as your username. That's not my username. And then after that, for the password, you use the membership number. So pull out your membership card. You'll see your number. Those initial zeros, you don't need that. But all those numbers afterwards, type that in. And if it doesn't work, then go back and do it with all the zeros that come in front, if you have any zeros. And then that should get you to this page. So then you want to go and change your password immediately. So you change your password, and then so you have your username, and then you have your own unique password. Okay? And don't use a simple password like password or 12345 or anything like that. Use a password that's unique that only you would know. Language, I use English, but there's other languages that you can do it under. English is what the site looks like. Spanish, a lot of our people in the state of Nevada, our brothers, speak Spanish, and they're very fluent in Spanish, and not only speaking but also reading and writing in Spanish. They're more familiar with that. So this site is set up for that. Originally, when this was set up in Espanol, it was in European Spanish, and that's when they found out that that's not Latino Spanish. So they had to change that. Below that is French. Some parts of Canada, the people, the Brother Knights up there, they speak, of course, French, so it allows for that. And then underneath that is Polaski, which is actually Polish. So some people in Eastern Europe speak Polish. And I'm sure they're going to be adding on here some other languages like Korean and some of the other places that we are currently have councils at that speak a different language. I was suppose eventually they will have Tagalog on here for Filipinos. Anyway, so we've talked about the languages that you can change it to in case you can't read English. But of course, you can always do it in Spanish. If you're French, you want to see it in French, or if you want to see it in Polish. So that's all available to you. Again, remember how to log in. Your initial time. First time, put in your username that you want to use. Then the password will be your membership number. Once you're into this page, you go up here and hit change password immediately and put a unique password, okay, and not password or 1 2 3 4 5, okay, a real unique password. You at any time you can come in here and update your profile, which is kind of neat. But also another thing from that, on the councils for a Grand Knight and a financial secretary, you can actually go in to the membership section, which I don't have on mine, but you will have on yours. And it will allow you to give updated information. Let's say they held a officer's seat or something, or they've taken their first, second degree, but it doesn't show up, or they took a third degree, it doesn't show up. You can put it in there. If they don't have their wife's name on there, you can put their wife's name. If they their children's name, you can put their children's name in there. There's a lot of things that you can add in on that particular page for your profile of your membership. Of course, the more members you have, the more work you got to do. But for a small council, it's pretty simple. A larger council, you and the financial secretary should work together to keep maintaining that. It's also the place where you go into and put their phone numbers, their emails. Whenever you find that out, if somebody you haven't lost contact with, go ahead and see, and then you find them at a mass. And say, hey, I haven't been able to get a hold of you, and I've been using your email. This is what it is, and they go like, whoa, that's because we changed it. I don't use that email. Well, what is your new one? You write it down, and then you can come back and update that. That way they get the email. If they moved and forgot to tell somebody, that's why they're not getting the Columbia magazine anymore. Okay, on the roster you'll find that just a little asterisk by their name on the address or something like that. That means the Columbia magazine keeps getting returned. So you need to find their new address. But we'll go over that in days to come. So first, get to this page, go through all this stuff, review everything that you possibly can, and get familiar. This is a very important page to you. Do not wait until January to figure out how to get to this page. If you're having troubles, talk to your district deputy, and he'll help you get on. If he can't help you, give one of the state officers a call, including myself, and we'll help you get on. Once you're done with the sheet, the next thing you want to do is just hit that little house right there, which is home, and that brings you back out to this page. Ta-da! You're back here, and this is where anybody can come in and take a look. So another important thing on this particular page that I wanted to show you is go up here and hit the covert thing, put that out, and here you go, right there. The word join. Anytime you find somebody who wants to become a member of the Knights of Columbus, this is where they go. All right, I'd get your smartphone out. You have the same thing, this button will be there. You hit join. Okay, it brings you to this page. Okay, and all you got to do is populate all these fields. What state you're in? I'm in Nevada. All right, great. Okay, so you put that down there. Suppose it's your cousin in Louisiana or something, and he wants to become a member of the Knights. Well, you could actually bring him into Louisiana jurisdiction, But I wouldn't do that. I'd bring him into Nevada and then transfer him later. But anyway, it's up to you. You put their first name, their last name. This is important. Put their email. Notice these little red stars. This is the information they have to give, okay, in order to move forward. So once they put their email in, the next thing they put they confirm their email, so that way it matches. Put the date of their birth, month, day, and year. This confirms that they're 18 or older. Their preferred language, again, it shows you English, Spanish, French. It doesn't show Polish yet, but it does show English and French and Spanish. The three questions that we ask always, are you a baptized Catholic male? Yes. Again, you see the red stars. I got to answer this. Okay. I'm a practical Catholic, which means he comes to church to Mass on Sunday, and I agree to abide by the laws and rules and orders of the Knights of Columbus and the privacy policy, which is that we're not going to share this information with anybody. Once they do all that, then they hit I'm not a robot, because this can be hit by spam. That's why they put that in there. And then you go on to do proceed to join. If I was to fill this out right now and go on to proceed, what happens is that the name goes into a pool, prospect pool. And then when I go to proceed, and then let's say I don't want to pay by credit card yet. Look what happens when you try to come out of the page, and you go up here. Well, then I'll start getting emails weekly about what the Knights of Columbus does, and go ahead and join the Knights at that time. But if I am ready to join, which is the guy you're talking to, say, I want to become a member of the Knights of Columbus, then he's going to hit proceed. The next page is going to ask for their credit card information. So you're going to fill that in. And as of right now, it's gone back up to $30 for the member to join. I'm sure there will be some codes, promotion codes that will come out that will be forwarding to you. On that page is where you put in that promotion code, and it does the reduction down. So, or whatever the promotion is. And then once they hit on that one to proceed, then they are a member of the Knights of Columbus. So this is the page that you will want to know at all times. You can pick it up on your smartphone, on your laptop, on your tablet, or on your PC. So this is very easy to use. The days of the Form 100 are gone. This is the way we'll be recruiting from now on. So get to know how to use this page. Go to it, read the fields, get familiar with it, learn how to get to it from your smartphone and from your computer.